esa gente guapa que tenéis más salero que tal, bienvenidas, bienvenidos a los juegos del Tito Mor. Estamos aquí con Genshin Impact, en este sueño que estamos viviendo, en este impasse de vu, atrapados en Sumeru, y no sabemos cómo salir, así que vamos a ver.
Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant.
¿Qué tal estáis? Espero que genial, ya sabéis, como siempre os digo, que si os está gustando podéis parar para dejarme likes, comentarios, suscribiros al canal, compartir el vídeo, darle a la campanita de las alertas, contactarme por las redes sociales y lo que queráis. Así podemos tener una comunicación. Es que ya me he perdido ya, o sea, ya se han metido en las paradojas del tiempo espacio-temporales y yo ya me he perdido.
I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days... So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we send it back? Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on that? Yep! Now we're talking!
Lo tomo según me lo están contando, no intento descifrarlo ni interpretarlo. Y está claro que son los sabios que están liando una... Bueno... Parda no, pardísima. La que están liando, los sabios de la academia.
I'm done. Here you go. What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal? I made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha. Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee... We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those sages.
Bueno, otra vez a llorar.
All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated. Okay. See you tomorrow, traveler.
Que no me llamo Traveler, me llamo Moria.
That covers everything that's happened so far. Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive... Okay, now that you understand what's going on,
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. All these spaces are empty, except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
Claro, si es que en el fondo lo que nos están haciendo es esclavizarlos. Es como, esto es como Matrix. Pasa que en vez de ser las máquinas, las responsables son los científicos.
Sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. There's another part here. We only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing, one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
Vaya. Nos hemos quedado sin saber el final.
Why did the message end right there? Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment. Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from the message? It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal. After the beep, Traveler said, even the final space is... Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. Was that space actually the real world? My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. I need...
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's festival, also later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Paimon's head is spinning. Just what if... Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods... So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and Wow! The Archon War, huh? Hey! Where are you going?
Bueno, pues como he dicho, lo voy a tomar según me lo cuenten. Siéntate en uno de los bancos de la ciudad para poner en orden tus ideas. Ah, no. Ah. Dice en uno de los bancos. Bueno, eso es una silla, ¿no? Pero... Bueno, otra vez atravesar el gran bazar. Tiene que ser en un banco específico.
Do you want some alone time to think? All right.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunya?
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away! Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait, no. Let's... You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay, first off...
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha... We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times. The moon, illusions, and... People in Sumeru don't dream. I can't seem to cohesively piece... can't seem to... I can't seem to...
Pues entonces, tú me dirás.
I can't... All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the
Un
city
sueño sin
had
gente.
one thing in common.
Ah,
Those spaces remind me of dreams.
la realidad del sueño.
We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't...
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their... And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha... The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of... and it grants knowledge to the people. Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Arc. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how... Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human... So in other words, the complete opposite of... Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. And the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord. The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people... Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha up. Those spaces kept disappearing. Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth." My mind feels exhausted. I've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times.
Pues hacer asociación de ideas, aparición y desaparición de sueños con la aparición y desaparición de los espacios. No.
I can't seem to cohesively piece everything
Con el
together.
samsara del día del Sabertooth. Producción en masa de sueños.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is... Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an... Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminal. Alright, last question. Who am I?
Pues, aparte de una hija de la Gran Bretaña por saberlo todo y no contárnoslo desde el principio y obligarnos a todo esto, yo supongo que tú eres la Arconte Dendro. Imagino.
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, now that I think about it, was it... Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions...
So you noticed.
Claro.
I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last. That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. everything up. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to. It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have. You asked me this question before. My answer was, now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make... Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly... Your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion.
Nos habrías ahorrado 2 episodios.
That's why I
Que
can
no es lo
only give
mismo.
you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories. That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And so whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's festival, they...
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia Forest.
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sub-Zero's festival.
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this?
We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing.
I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday?
Even you don't know the reason?
What? The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to... Traveler, do you have any information?
Those spaces remind me of... Okay, Nahida said, the Akasha relies... Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth of...
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean... deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter after we end the Sub-Zero's festival, Samsara, we have...
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back?
In the end, I'm just the moon.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today!
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow. See...
Nahida? Wait. No. Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream, so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the...
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real...
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. You know, speaking of which... The old
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness. And it was you who inspired her.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about... I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still... far from it. I'm still a long way off from being... I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon,
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault, and...
I'm not beating myself up.
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are...
To prevent more tragedies like this,
Great, but how do we...
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So...
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here... Which means, with the power of imagination...
Imagination? What do you mean by...
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally... However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will all find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming.
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be any... And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make... After all, like you said, don't wake asleep.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, as for me...
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams?
Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises.
Paimon's still a little upset that we've come this far. She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. But yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want... Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of... Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense! Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sub-Zero. Let's go ask him some questions.
Lo que sea, con tal de que se acabe este sueño ya. Uy, si dije el otro día que iba a hacer una tirada al gachapón. Lo dije hace como 2 vídeos o una cosa así. Bueno, pues os prometo que en este la hacemos.
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Just, it's a little hard to explain.
An experiment? That came out of nowhere.
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new...
Less questions, more wishing!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to any... She just doesn't seem like herself. She's always so gentle and... I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Ferris Knight of Flowers is because I'm special.
So, you have a crush on...
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, what she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her.
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps... Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yanni's pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Why are you so worked up anyway? It's not like... Anyway, watch yourself.
Por fin un poquito de acción. Uy.
So you got yourself some backup.
New punch today. Try to keep up.
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
That's close enough.
No me vengas con dendro, No me vengas con dendradas. Madera radiante. Ay, por cierto, tengo que aprender dónde conseguir que lo necesito para la raja tetera. Madera de avellano y madera de mavi se llama. O algo así. O navi o algo así.
Nice and spicy!
You're in for a little shock. You? Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.
I'll take my...
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Oh, and speaking of her, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came... She said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere... Yeah, even if it's only a tiny This is the place! It's rude to enter other people's spaces without... Hey! The windows are unlocked! Okay. Paimon's gonna... This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the... Should we open it?
Bueno. Bueno, como ahora no lo va a resumir Paimon, pasamos de leerlo.
Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival. She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub... If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her. Hey! Where are you off to now?
Very well. Habla con Dunyarzad.
Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about...
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave...
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What? Where are we going this time?
Contemple la danza Sapcel, pero si la han cancelado.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into... The Grand Sage has already granted you much.
Oh.
Si es que lo que tenemos que haber hecho desde el principio es ir a la academia y arrasar con todo lo que veamos ahí. Máquinas, personas, archivos, papiros.
You don't have to get involved. He's
Traveler.
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the academy...
Me van a arrestar a mí. Estos dos me van a arrestar a mí.
Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of...
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting weird.
O sea que esta es la soñadora del sueño infinito y eterno.
Hey! They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What if purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore? But in Nilu's subconscious, it's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew. But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host. How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this lesser lord?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point, as far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream.
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went up...
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and all kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story?
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can.
Si no queda otro remedio que ver la danza Sub-Zero.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zero's.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Tan rarilla, ¿no? Es una mezcla así, empieza como muy arábiga y tal, y de pronto se pasa a la bossa nova. Bueno, pues cuando acabe esto, a ver, bueno, vamos a hablar un poquillo más. Recordad que esta vez sí o sí vamos a tirar al gachapón a ver lo que nos sale. Que lo dije eso hace como 2 capítulos, digo, os tenéis que esperar hasta el final. Y luego al final se me fue a mí de la olla completamente, ¿sabes? Se me fue de la castaña y de hecho aún lo tengo ahí, a tirar.
Oh, good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the... Paimon's head feels super heavy. Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero samsara? Quick, take off your Akasha terminal. She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What usual spot?
Pues el que está al otro lado del Gran Bazar, el que llevamos recorriendo 4 episodios ya. Ah, no.
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zero's.
Vale, pues acto 2 completado. El alba de las 1000 rosas. Habla con Catherine. El alba. Ah, vale, este es el epílogo.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival, and Dunyarzad.
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else.
Venga, sí, ahí mismo. A ver si es la última vez que tenemos que recorrer toda la ciudad. Qué manía le cogió al camino este, Es que se han pasado un huevo los programadores, macho, que no se han dado cuenta, tío, de que hay que hacer este camino 50 veces en este episodio, en este capítulo o acto. No, capítulo.
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it still wouldn't have lasted for much.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved...
At the Avidia Forest, there was this incense that made the Traveler...
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world.
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask you what that was about. And if the...
It seems like the Traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater... As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert...
Okay, so what does the...
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that But even if you can't figure
Es
out
verdad
what
que lo
that
estoy
vision
pensando
was
que
all
todavía no
about,
le hemos ido a darle su
seems like
merecida
our search for you was all in
a los de la
vain.
academia, que son los culpables de toda esta historia.
The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen any... No,
Sí, eso va a ser, supongo, el acto tercero, que acabará en combataco gigantesco, como siempre.
Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life
Como
and
ya
death
luchamos
at
contra el
stake.
dragón,
It could
contra
determine Irem's
el monstruo
fate,
submarino,
as far as
contra Señora.
To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Cap. How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali, I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So what about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find greater... So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom. There has never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler hadn't broken this... I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. I think they're deliberately trying to... Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Kainari to... Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be... You mean how the Akasha... Yeah, it's been such a long time! It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Misdirection? The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full... Anyway, the perspective advocate... By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it! I hope my answers were satisfactory. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project. Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us. What a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime.
Bueno, pues ya hemos acabado. Nueva misión, el reclutamiento del regimiento de los 30. Habla con Effendi. Senderos peligrosos. Pues ahora ya no vamos a poder. Misión del mundo. Bueno, pues esta será la siguiente. ¿Te interesa? Habla con Effendi en la ciudad. A ver cómo llevo el tiempo. Lo vamos a dejar por aquí ya. Vamos a hacer la tiradita prometida al gachapón. ¿Por qué me ha salido aquí algo? Constelación. Ah, porque nos han dado una... Ya. Enredadera simbiótica. No, esta ya la tenemos activada. Esta ya la tenemos activada. O sea, que me anda una de esas, ¿no? Para activar una constelación, supongo. Esta la tenemos ya, sí. Al golpear a un amigo con enemigo y la viajera recupera 3,5 puntos de energía elemental. Y podemos abrir planta tenaz, que es aumenta en 3 segundos la duración del loto luminoso. Ah, pues mira, eso siempre está bien. Pues ahora, ya podemos. Ya tenemos 2 constelaciones en Dendro. En Anemo teníamos más, pero claro, es que al principio estuvimos bastante tiempo en Mostrar. Pues eso, gente, lo dicho, vamos a tirar al gachapón y con eso ya lo dejamos por ahí. Pero hay que tirar a la de los deseos, no a la de las protogemas, porque no tengo todavía, como podéis ver. Tengo 1067 y a la única que se puede tirar es a esta, que tengo 10 deseos. Así que vamos allá, a ver qué sale. Este no te recomiendan que tires a este ni al de las armas. Te recomiendan los expertos, los que llevan ya mucho tiempo jugando, que siempre tires a los de los personajes promocionales. Pero es que a esos no puedo tirarles con los deseos estos, con las bolitas. No sé por qué. Entonces, pues nada. ¿Me va a salir algo bueno o qué? Allá. Otra vez toma. Joder. Me ha salido toma otra vez. Bueno. Por lo menos podemos... A ver si tenemos ya 34. No, ¿no? Tenemos 30. Con 2 más ya podremos comprar un personaje. Vamos a mejorarle una constelación al toma. Me va a tocar la estela de la fortuna. El deber de un compañero. Dice: cuando los personajes que estén bajo la protección de un escudo llameante, a excepción de toma, reciben un ataque, tanto el TD, el tiempo de espera de bendición incandescente, como el de armadura, se reducen en 3. Vaya. Tampoco lo veo tan sumamente útil, pero bueno. Pues nada, gente, por aquí lo vamos a dejar. Espero que os haya gustado. Nos vemos en el próximo. Si os apetece, sed buenas, sed buenos, sed felices. Un saludín. Chao, chao.